Hey, what's going on, my AP psychology scholars? Here's the deal. We've got an AP exam in like a week and a half, and we recently, wrapped up that unit on social psychology. The problem is, I've had so many of you dudes who've been absent for a lot of reasons, and it's been kind of weighing on me, man. I want to make sure we finish strong. So I decided I'm going to go ahead and make one last video. It's the middle of the night. I can't sleep. Like I said, it's been weighing on me. And I decided to come out in the car, make this video for you guys real quickly. At least hit some of the key terms and key concepts for you. Okay. I didn't want to do the video in the house because it's the middle of the night. I thought I'd wake up my family up or something like that. Okay. So anyways, here we go. All right. Social psychology, there's a kind of a theme here, and the theme starts off with a term that you should be somewhat familiar with already, and this term is called confirmation bias. All right, confirmation bias. So let me give you some examples just to kind of remind you. Okay, suppose I have a particular political view, right? Just for example, not to get political, just to give you an example. Like if I have a particular political view, I might watch a network, a television show or something that supports that view more so than another network or another television show. So that's supporting my belief. That's confirmation bias. Or another example would be like, suppose I have a particular religious view or religious ideology. So I might watch television shows that support that belief over other television shows. So the shows I watch are strengthening or confirming my belief, my bias, whatever term you want to use, okay? So again, that's confirmation bias. Again, something you should be somewhat familiar with, okay? Now, as we kind of segue onward in this unit, the next big term we're going to come across is called groupthink, okay? And groupthink is actually a pretty similar concept. The difference is, instead of watching television shows or reading books or whatever about concepts that support our belief system, what groupthink is instead we align ourselves with people who have a similar viewpoint, similar like-minded, traits, that kind of thing. And I'll give you some very simple examples, okay? Suppose I'm a high school student. Just go with it, right? And suppose I'm in the school band, right? So I walk into a classroom and I see the other band kids there. I'm more likely to want to hang out with the band kids because we're like-minded. We have common interests, okay? And just to remind you about something we covered a few units back, that also nicely coincides with Erik Erikson's concept of adolescence. If you recall, during adolescence, there is that ultimate search for identity. So maybe you're the band kid or the football kid or the ROTC kid or the academic team kid, whatever. You're seeking identity, right? Again, that's something we covered a few units back, but I want you to see how that also pertains to groupthink, okay? So as we kind of bring this along, again, I'll go back to that same example I had a few moments ago. Suppose I'm a band kid and I walk into a classroom and I'm attracted to the comfort and the relationships of other band kids, again, because we have things in common. But at the same time, I might be ignoring the football kids, even if it's on, to use a Freudian term, even if it's on an unconscious level, and I'm not even really aware that I'm ignoring those football kids. They might be the nicest guys in the world, but I don't know anything about them because I'm ignoring them. Instead, I keep hanging out with the band kids. So when you get to that point, when you're, ignoring other people, or even giving benefits to people that you have things in common with, in this case, the band kids, there's a term that you need to know, and that term is implicit bias. Now, does that mean I'm prejudiced against the football kids? Just to use that example, okay? Does that mean I'm prejudiced? Not exactly, because the word prejudice has some very harsh, undertones, right? It really does. But it's implicit. again, it's at an unconscious level. I might not even be actively or consciously aware, right, that I'm ignoring the football kids and I'm giving benefits and accolades and whatever to the band kids, okay? So again, that's an implicit bias. And just to kind of tie in a few examples that we covered in class, right? Suppose all of our administration at school is made up of Aggie graduates. Nothing against Aggies, it's just an example, so go with it, all right? And what if all of our administration says, hey, we're going to have every Friday is Maroon Day. Everyone wears their maroon colors to school, right? Well, at some point, some of us are going to say that's a little weird if we do that every Friday, right? But what happens is it's groupthink. All the like-minded individuals with this shared common interest, the love for A&M, right? They push for the Maroon Day. Whereas if you threw in a UT grad or a St. Mary's grad or some other grad, they might say, you know what, that idea is a little weird, So when you have groupthink, one of my great quotes is, when there's groupthink, no one's really thinking, because there's no diversity, no influx of other ideas ultimately. Okay, so it comes to a head with one of the great social psychology experiments of all time. And this was done by none other than Muzaffar Sharif, an early American social psychologist. And what he did is very cool. I love this. He had this camp, a mock camp, if you will, up at Robbers Cave State Park in Oklahoma. And at this camp, he had a group, one group of boys at one camp and another group of boys at the other camp. And each camp was told, the other camp is your rival, right? Your rival. Like I said, Aggies and Longhorns, us and them, band kids and football kids, that's the other guy. That's the rival, right? And when they were fed this, the ideas festered and grew, and you almost had something called group polarization, where some of these kids were sneaking out and they were hazing and starting fights with the kids at the other camp. But finally, at the end of this camp, Muzaffar Sharif and the boys get them all together, right? It's actually called contact theory, right? They get them all together and they say, we're going to clean up all the mess y'all did. All the hazing, all the toilet paper in the trees, we're going to clean it up. And when they came together to work together, there was diversity, there was a new shared idea going on, and that led to new friendships. Like I said, with groupthink, no one's truly thinking until you start having an influx of other ideas. Right around the time Muzaffar Sharif was wrapping up this famous experiment, we had the integration of classrooms in America in 1954. Think about that. So now I finished this lesson. I'm going to go to bed. God bless you guys. Peace out. See you in the morning. Bye-bye.